Oh, this is the one we'll go to break on. The United States State Department has announced this week that the first major contingent of Syrian refugees, that's 9,000 of them, have been hand-selected by the UN for resettlement into communities across the United States. 9,000 more jihadists coming into the United States in the next year. World Net Daily in September pointed that Syrians make up the next big wave of Muslim refugees coming to the U.S. as resettlement agencies were lobbying for the U.S. to accept 75,000 Syrians over the next 5 years. Until now, we've only accepted 300 of the more than 3 million refugees created by the Syrian civil war, in which ISIS, al-Nusra, and the Sunni Muslim jihadist rebels are locked in a battle. But now the U.S. government has been the most active of all nations, accepting Islamic refugees from war-torn countries such as Iraq, Somalia, and the Congo. Now adding Syrians to the mix. They're cleared for refugee status by the UN High Commissioner. Since when do we allow the UN to dictate how many people of what flavor we're going to bring into our country? I mean, we see what these people do in place after place after place that they're settled into. And here we are, lining up with the UN that hates us. Let's be real clear about that. The UN votes against the United States about 85% of the time. They hate America. Of course, they want Muslims, they want terrorists moving here. The more they get here, the more they can breed us out of a constitution. And that's what their goal is. Immigrate as many people as you can, have 10, 15 babies, and in one generation, they'll all be voting. And they'll be voting down the Constitution and voting in Sharia. And folks, if you don't believe me, make your way to patriotradioshow.com. Listen to my Muslim Brotherhood show and listen to Jihad is Not a Religion. Both of these state that is their exact plan. Those are their words, not mine. I'm not saying the Muslims are here to take over and implement Sharia law. I'm not saying they're here to get rid of the Constitution. I'm saying the Constitution and the Sharia are absolutely at loggerheads. You can't have them both. One wants to wipe out the other. And they say they want Sharia. They say they want to get rid of the Constitution. Their words, not mine. Listen to those two shows. It's on the main site at patriotradioshow.com. I'm going to take another short break. We're going to pay some bills. I'm going to come back, and we're going to talk about the rest of this story and a couple of others. We'll be right back.
Your voice, your opinions, heard round the world at www.kcaaradio.com. The station that leaves no listener behind, AM 1050 KCAA.
Tom O'Halloran has a not-so-common core spelling lesson for the Obama administration. Ready? There is no K in America.
There's kids that can't pray in school, $100 tanks of gas. I can tell you right now, this country ain't supposed to be like that. No, that ain't my America. That ain't this country's roots. You wanna slam all on the Sam, but I ain't letting you. Yeah, I'm mad as hell, and you know I still bleed red, white, and blue. They ain't us, and that ain't my America. Oh no, that ain't my America. No, 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 no. That ain't my America.
Welcome back. Welcome back. This is the fastest hour in radio. This is Jihad on America, and I'm your host, Tom O'Halloran. Well, we've got a hate preacher, a terror mastermind in Austria that recruited the ISIS poster girls and sent another 160 youths to join jihad in Iraq and Syria. Islamic hate preacher has been arrested over claims he is the terror mastermind who recruited two Austrian jihad poster girls and more than 160 others to join ISIS. Samira and Sabina became radicalized through the cell led by unemployed benefits claimant. So this scumbag is unemployed, drawing welfare and recruiting people into jihad. He lived with his pregnant wife and 5 children in a council flat in Vienna, Austria. The flat was stuffed with jewelry, cash, and a savings book worth a fortune in it when it was stormed by Austria's elite, heavily armed special forces police. Good for them. Good for Austria. The scumbag is on welfare. He's got cash, bank books worth fortunes, and he's sitting there recruiting terror. According to security forces, Ibu Tahima, whose real name is Mirsad Omervek, not only recruited the 2 girls but became the public face of jihad, but was also involved in other defections to European youngsters to fight in the Holy War. It also claimed he raised a significant amount of cash. Now, security service insiders claim he was only one of 200 leading jihadists, but he was also one of the leaders of the so-called Bosnian cell based in Medling district of Vienna, which was one of the most important logistic and financial support centers for jihadist activities all over Europe. Austria's been concerned. Oh, this is good. Listen to this one, folks. Austria has been concerned for years over the fears that the country was becoming a hub for terrorist activities after inviting thousands of Muslim refugees into the country during the breakup of the former Yugoslavia. So they were concerned that bringing Muslim refugees into the country would make them a terrorist hub. Meanwhile, back at the White House, Obama has just agreed to bring 75,000 Muslims into America over the next 5 years. How many terror cells does that make? You think America's in trouble right now? 75,000. Imagine there's, say, 100 in a terror cell. That's still 75 or 7,500 terror cells that Obama's getting ready to set up, with these scumbags hiding and plotting and building bombs and bombing buses here in America. This is America. We're supposed to be smarter than this. The Austrians figured it out. Why can't we? Why can't we? Why don't we get Congress to sue the Department of State and stop importation of these Islamists? Everywhere they go, in every country they move to, they create terror. It boggles my mind. We're smarter than this. My grandkids are 12. They know this. Why do we keep letting these people in our country? Everywhere, they're blowing people up. And yet we do. Because we have a president that hates America. He's pro-Muslim. He hates America. And if you want to destroy America and you want to do it from the inside, then you let the enemy inside. And that's what he's doing. He's let them inside his administration. We talked earlier that he's allowed CARE to go through and censor the FBI training documents so our FBI agents aren't even learning about Islamic terrorism. How can we stop it if we don't even recognize and acknowledge that it is a problem? He's recruited people into his administration that have high security clearances. They've got access to the blueprints, diagrams of every port, our electric grid, every pipeline that runs under America. You think they're not downloading this data? You think they're not getting the data off to people that can plot the best way to bring down an electric grid? You think that these people are just working in the malls, going to work as an engineer and doing nothing? These people are here to destroy America from within. It is their words, not mine. Go listen to the Muslim Brotherhood show. Listen to Islam is not a religion. These people are here to destroy America. We will see blood on the streets. We're going to see a lot of that with these people coming in like this. But they'll do it from within inside as well, by getting elected to the city councils, to Senate, to the state houses. And when they get elected, they start passing laws. Laws like you cannot say anything against Islam. Anti-blasphemy laws. They're all over the world now. We as Americans have always had freedom of speech, but they're beginning to win there too. And we can't stop fighting it, because they'll just take that as a weakness and roll on with more and more and more. And they don't always bomb. Here's a terrorist attacking a Jewish family. They threw acid on the family in South Jerusalem, wounding 6 people, including a number of young children. According to Magen Adam, paramedics, the mother of the family, and 3 young children between the ages of 8 and 10 are injured in the lower extremities in the attack. Their injuries are described as light. Their father, a man in 40s, suffered light to moderate injuries in the face and eyes. The 6th victim is believed to be a hitchhiker, and his condition is described as moderate. The victims are apparently residents of Beitar, and they're treated at the hospital. Throwing acid in the face just because they're not Muslims. These people live and swear to kill all the Jews, and in general, all the infidels. So you're not safe just because you're not Jewish. If you're not a Muslim, they will kill you or throw acid in your face, or do both. And these are their words, not mine. I am not insulting Islam. I am explaining Islam. I don't have to insult it. It is insulting in its own right. Every Muslim is told to emulate Muhammad. Be like Muhammad. Do what Muhammad did. And it's all spelled out in the Quran. He had sex with children. He had sex with goats. He killed his enemies. He lied. He looted. He was a goat-raping pedophile. And every one of these people are followers of the goat-raping pedophile. Mind you, they may not all be terrorists right now, but when they get strong enough in numbers, when they're a big enough group to march in front of City Hall and make enough noise, they will become terrorists, because it has happened everywhere they go. When their numbers get strong enough, they start making noise, and more noise, the bigger their crowd gets. This is what happens when you're a follower of a goat-raping pedophile. We were talking about mega mosques earlier in this show. $1 million mega mosque is just opening in Anchorage. That's Alaska's first mega mosque. Heaven help them. They've got 3,000 Muslims in Anchorage. They ought to get up there with some barrels of pig blood and dump it on the site immediately. Folks, it's been great having you tuned in with us tonight. I appreciate it each and every time.